Welcome to Blame It on the Draw. Today I'm going to give you a deck profile on Crusadia Mekk-Knights. Now this is a little bit complicated deck. This is an OTK deck. It's pretty much OTK control, so it's not that hard. So first up, we're going to be going with the Crusadias. We have 3 Crusadia Maximus, right? This is Maximus. Maximus effects, what it does, basically you can special summon to a link points to, and then he can activate the effect by giving a Crusadia monster double damage, not double his attack. People confuse that. It's double damage, and I've seen other players do that too. And then next up we have 2 of Crusadia Leonis or whatever the hell you want to call it. Basically this card, what it gives the other one is special summons the same way, but he activates the effect by giving the link monster piercing damage. That way you can, it doesn't matter if it's in defense position, you'll try your best to OTK your opponent with no matter what they have in there. Next up we have for our recycling, we have 2 of Crusadia Draco. Draco, of course, does the same thing, special summons to a link points to, and when he's in the graveyard, you can activate this effect by shuffling back, no, it's adding back to the hand? Oh, when he special summon is when he activates? When this card is normal special summon? Yeah, you can target 1 Crusadia monster in my graveyard and then add it to your hand. That's what this one does, and this one is in the graveyard. It does protection to Crusadia monsters. For example, they do Dark Hole, you can just banish it, and it's not destroyed, and it's whatever you do, Raigeki, the Torrential, this will protect you with anything that has to do with destruction to whatever your Crusadia you have and whatever problems you'll be having in that moment. And then for the rest of them, you have Crusadia, what the hell the name is? Reclusa. This one special summons to a zone where a link card points to, and then you can activate its effect by destroying 1 Crusadia monster, and then it could be itself as well, and then destroy any card on the field. This is really good, especially when you're using things with Solemn Great as well, because Solemn Greats are awesome. And next up, for the Mekk-Knight engine, we have 3 Mekk-Knight Purple. Purple, of course, this is the one who's going to be banishing one of your cards. He can special summon, all the Mekk-Knights can special summon to wherever a column has 2 cards. Now, of course, you can't summon him when there is 2 cards and then summon him outside of it. It has to be exactly in between or in front of 2 cards, which in front is impossible. Basically, it has to be in between, you like it or not. And then, of course, the other effect is that you can banish 1 Mekk-Knight monster. It could be itself as well, not a cost. And then you can add another Mekk-Knight monster that is not purple to your hand. And once per the standby phase of your turn, not your opponent's, the cards that you banish, for example, since this is a hard once per turn, you can banish this one, banish this card on your turn, and then on your opponent's turn, since this is a quick effect, you can banish this card as well, and then add 2 cards in total. And then in the standby phase, when it's your turn, they can both come back, and that is not a special summon, that is a placement. So that's a pretty cool effect, and that's one of the best effects that this Mekk-Knight has. That's why you have to run, for sure, 3 of them. Now, of course, 1 Mekk-Knight Blue, but I would bump this up to 2 because Blue is the one that's going to be searching you the other Mekk-Knights. He special summons as well through a Mekk-Knight wherever there is 2 cards. Activate his effect. Depending on how many cards in the same column he will special summon, there was your where your zone your opponent has. For example, he has a spell and a monster with the same column. You can add 2 different Mekk-Knights with different names directly to your hand, except Blue. And of course, when he's normal or special summon from your hand, he activates this effect, so that's pretty good, and that is a trigger effect. Next up, we have 2 of Indigo Eclipse. Of course, this one is the one that's going to give you the movement. This is going to be moving all your Mekk-Knights. Believe me, you're going to need this for the spell and trap cards that you're going to have that is War Legacy related. They're going to be very important because this is the one that's going to be moving your cards to what you want to negate. And next up, this is going to be basically giving your destruction. This is back row destruction. This is your monster destruction. And you can banish 1 Mekk-Knight monster from your graveyard and activate their effects. Their effects is not once per turn. Also, they're pretty good to be searchers and to thin out your deck. So that's pretty much it for the Mekk-Knight engine. And yeah, this is just basically it. There's no more Mekk-Knight things. It's just this. And the rest of it is just basically War Legacy cards and so on. And now for a little bit of the Kaiju engine. You need this for sure if you want to make your OTK to your opponent. You're going to have 3 Kaijus. Of course, this is the interdimensional Kaiju. This is Gamma Seal, and this one is Moth. Yep, moth. So basically what you're going to do is obviously tribute a monster your opponent controls. Once you tribute it, you can actually get Crusadia, what's it, Equimax with the rest of the attacks and everything else be boosted. So once you attack it, you actually OTK your opponent with one of the monsters you tributed. And of course, tributing is never bad. Tributing is really good since you can take out even the biggest boss monsters. Of course, unless they say they can't be tributed, or you have something like Zombie World and you can't tribute anything unless zombies, and these aren't zombies, so too bad for that. So yeah, this is basically all you're gonna have with the kaijus. Next up, you have for the spells, we have 3 World Legacy Memory. World Legacy Memories can never, I would never recommend you to activate this in your turn. You should activate this always during your opponent's turn. Usually in your draw phase, you're going to be activating this card. You're going to be activating this card during your draw phase, and basically what you're going to do with this is add, you can special summon 1 Mekk-Knight monster to your field, and for that you can special summon something like Purple. Purple activates effect to then banish it to get another card in your hand, and then during your standby phase, Purple comes back, and then you basically, this is a 1 card, 2 card combo, and this is really good, and it's one of the best World Legacy cards you have in this deck. Next up, for the special summon from the grave, basically you have World Legacy Succession. Of course, you can special summon 1 monster from your grave directly to where a link card points to. This is extremely good, and this is your basically your extender. Then you have 2 Pinpoint Landing. Of course, Pinpoint Landing, basically what it does, whenever you special summon a monster from your hand, you can draw 1 card. And this, even if it's a hard once per turn, if you do nothing with this one, if you don't special summon from your hand, which is pretty hard, this whole deck is about special summoning from your hand, well, it gets destroyed. So you better take as much juice out of this card as possible. And your opponent, believe me, he wants to destroy this as quick as possible, because this is just a +1 on each turn, and your opponent really doesn't want that. Next up, for your spells, we have 2 staples, which is 2 Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave, you can negate monster effects, or whenever you banish 1 monster. So, for example, you activate this, you banish 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard. That monster from there on doesn't have the effects and can be activated for basically 2 turns. And yeah, this is a really good negation, and this is one of the best staples that exist. Next up, you have Crusadia Revival. Crusadia Revival basically boosts up the attack of your Crusadia monsters. And whenever you're gonna do is a link monster you control, you can target 1 link monster, then the turn. Even if this card leaves the field, you can attack all monsters your opponent controls. This is really good, just in case you didn't kill your opponent with just 1-shot killed, you can 2-shot kill him. And then you have World Legacy's Key. World Legacy's Key, add 1 Mekk-Knight monster is banished back to your hand, and whatever a Mekk-Knight is, where it's pointed to in the column, anything there, the traps will affect activation will be negated. This is really good. Believe me, it's going to be saving your butt many times, especially when people use impermanence or anything like breakthrough skill and so on. And for the rest too, since you're running kaijus, of course, you're going to have Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Kaiju Slumber is going to be the one that's going to be erasing the board completely. So just in case you want to make an OTK without anyone in the board, you can do that one. Put two kaijus in there, and then get your Crusadia Equimax to destroy the kaiju, special summon after that. And of course, Twin Twister. Twin Twister is going to be discarding and destroying your back row, any back row actually. So that's pretty good for saving up your board or destroying your board of your opponent. And you have for the traps, you have 1 Legacy Secrets. One Legacy Secret, you can special summon a level 5 or higher monster from the graveyard, and then whenever a Mekk-Knight monster is pointing to, you can negate a monster's, when it attempts to activate, you can negate the activation. And then you have World Legacy Whispers. World Legacy Whispers, what it does is when you activate this, you can target 1 monster. It gains 1000 attack and defense, and wherever a Mekk-Knight is pointing to, you can negate spells. These 2 combined with the others, World Legacy's Key, are basically going to be your ball buster for any deck. Then you have 2 Crusadia Crawlers. Of course, Crusadia Crawler is going to be the one that's going to be searching your World Legacy cards. Plus, it can activate its effect to special summon itself as a monster. It's also considered a trap when it's on the field. And so be careful with that. People can Twin Twister that as well. So when he's there, he special summons to a link card points to. He can add 1 World Legacy card directly from your deck to your hand. So this is a really good extender. You can use it for XYZ summon, Synchro summon as well. And then you have 2 Super Team Buddy Force United, or Unite, whatever. Basically what you do is target 1 monster, and that monster has to be the same type and attribute, but you're going to look for another one that the one you targeted with a different name with the same type and attribute. So basically when you activate this one, let's say you have blue, you activate this, put blue, and you can special summon from your grave or from your deck anything like purple, yellow, indigo, and so on with these effect. So that's pretty good for your extending plays. And that is it for the deck. And next time we're going to go for the extra deck. We have for your beaters, of course, 1 Borload Dragon. Borload Dragon is going to be the one putting down the attacks of your opponent's monster, and he can't negate that no matter what. And the other one is, of course, that whenever you attack your opponent's monster, you can steal it from your opponent to where the link points to. Everyone knows this card, and it's pretty good. Next up, you have Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme. Spectrum Supreme, of course, the effect is basically when there's nothing in the wherever it controls or in the columns, he cannot be destroyed by battle, or by card effects, and he cannot be targeted. Also, you can send one card you control, and you can with this card columns to the graveyard, and especially one Mekk-Knight monster from your deck in defense position. So this is going to be your extender. Of course, this is kind of hard to play, but this is going to be one of those moments where you could extend your place to something even bigger. So, and it can attack directly to your opponent if it's pointing it to nothing. And you have two Mekk-Knight Morningstar. Morningstar, basically, whenever your opponent battles, let's just say that he has a monster over here. For example, let's just say he has a Borload Dragon with its effects negated, or he already activated his effect. And whenever you're going to attack to Morningstar, let's just say Morningstar is in this column and he's in this column. If he attacks in a different column, you take no battle damage. He will not be destroyed, or any Mekk-Knight monster, which is one of the best cards in here. Or when he's summoned, you can actually discard one War Legacy card or Mekk-Knight card directly to your graveyard, and you can add one War Legacy card directly from your deck to your hand. It can be Succession, War Legacy's Key, War Legacy's Whisper, or even War Legacy Memory, and so on. You have a lot of combos to do with Morningstar, and that's why we are running 3, but of course I proxy one of them, and I'd like to apologize because of the proxy, but it's still undercoming its way since we ordered it from Amazon. Of course, that's a lie. I'm just lying to you. I'm joking. I'm not lying. And then, and then you have 3 Equimax. Equimax is your big OTK beater. This is the one who's going to be gaining attack for each card it's pointing to the monsters. He gains those attack for each one of them, and plus he can negate a monster as a quick effect. And yeah, this is going to be the big boy you're going to be boosting up, and you should run 3 because that is the standard to run 3 of them. And next up you have Crusadia Spath. And that basically with this one is move a monster, your main monster zones to a different column, and that's it. It's going to be continue on your place. It's going to be helping you out with us, things like that. And then you have 2 Crusadia Regulex. Regulex is going to be the one who's going to be adding you cards from Crusadia directly from your hand. And to activate their effects, each Crusadia card to activate your effects, except for Equimax, is basically wherever this is pointed to. When a monster special summon to where it points to, you can activate your effects. Otherwise, you can't do that if you're normal summon, so try not to do that while you're normal summoning. Then Crusadia Magius. Magius is the one who's going to be activating his effects to add... No, this is not adding. This is a... Crusadia Mekk, yeah, in Crusadia you can add 1 monster from your deck. So basically it's spells or traps and monsters, and this is moving throughout the columns. And last time for the staples, you have 1 Nightmare Phoenix and 1 Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn bounce, and you can add cards depending on how many nightmares are co-linked. And of course, Phoenix you can discard and destroy 1 Spell Trap cards anywhere on the field, and you can protect your monsters that are co-linked with this one, protect them from battle destruction. And that is it, guys. That is it for the deck. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the like button, make that like button your bitch. And if you like more videos like this, don't forget to leave us down in the comment sections below what other videos you want to see. And we'll be making an unboxing soon for special edition for Savage Strike. And I just like to say, you guys, thank you so much for all the views and all the subscribers that we had. Even though it's only 12 subscribers and we only have very few views compared to other channels or the YouTubers, I am really grateful to have you guys and for all the support you're doing. And I'd like to thank you guys for everything. Peace out.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching